The men who ran Unit 731 were never prosecuted. The United States government made sure of that. This is the story of the most brutal human experimentation program in history, and the deal that buried it. In 1932, the Imperial Japanese Army quietly established a covert biological and chemical warfare research unit in Manchuria, China. They called it Epidemic Prevention and Water Purification Department. A harmless name, deliberately, because what happened inside those walls was anything but harmless. By 1936, the operation had expanded into a massive complex outside the city of Harbin. Dozens of buildings, laboratories, prisons, crematoriums. They called it Unit 731, and it was commanded by a man named Shiro Ishii, a doctor, a general, and one of the most dangerous men of the 20th century. The prisoners inside Unit 731 were not called prisoners. They were called maruta. In Japanese, that word means logs, because that is how they were treated. Thousands of people, Chinese civilians, Korean workers, Soviet soldiers, American POWs, were brought to this facility and used as test subjects, not metaphorically, literally. Researchers deliberately infected prisoners with plague, cholera, typhoid, and anthrax, then studied how the diseases progressed, without treatment, without painkillers, without mercy. They froze prisoners alive to study frostbite. They removed organs without anesthesia to observe how long a person could survive. They placed people in pressure chambers to test the limits of the human body. They exposed prisoners to lethal doses of radiation. They performed vivisections, cutting people open while they were still conscious, simply to observe internal organs in their natural living state. And when a prisoner died, their body was incinerated in the facility's crematorium. No name, no record, no grave. Estimates vary, but historians believe between 3,000 and 10,000 people were killed inside Unit 731. Every single one of them died without justice. In August 1945, as Soviet forces advanced into Manchuria, Shiro Ishii gave the order to destroy the facility. Buildings were demolished, documents were burned, remaining prisoners were executed. Ishii gathered his staff, over 3,000 researchers, and told them to disappear into civilian life. "Take the secret to your grave," he reportedly said, and then he vanished. Here is where the story becomes something else entirely. After Japan's surrender, American investigators arrived in Manchuria. They found the ruins of Unit 731. They found testimonies. They found evidence of what had happened. They had a choice: prosecute, as they were doing with Nazi doctors at the Nuremberg trials, or deal. They chose to deal. General Douglas MacArthur personally negotiated with Shiro Ishii and his senior researchers. The arrangement was simple: hand over all research data. Every experiment, every result, every finding. And the United States would grant full immunity from war crimes prosecution. Ishii agreed. The data was transferred to American biological warfare research programs, and the men of Unit 731 walked free. Shiro Ishii returned to Japan. He lived quietly. He died in 1959 of throat cancer at the age of 67. In his bed, at home. His senior researchers went on to become professors, doctors, and executives in Japanese pharmaceutical companies. Some received government medals. Some gave lectures at universities. None of them were ever prosecuted. The United States government kept the Unit 731 files classified for decades. Japan officially denied the program's existence until the 1990s. The survivors, those few who lived, received no compensation, no acknowledgement, no apology. The site of Unit 731 in Harbin now operates as a museum. A quiet building in a quiet city filled with photographs of people who were called logs. We prosecuted Nazi doctors at Nuremberg because their data was useless. We protected the men of Unit 731 because their data was valuable. That is the calculus that was made. That is the deal that was struck, and the 3,000 people who died inside those walls never got a name in any official document, never got a trial, never got justice. Because someone decided their deaths were worth less than the research their suffering produced.